Welcome to Yachting Around, where we speak with maritime industry leaders to share their journey, business, vision, and valuable industry insights. And we welcome Rich Strauss, CEO from TeakDecking Systems, which for 40 years has been recognized for using premium grade sustainable teak wood. And thank you, Rich, for joining, as I know you guys are crazy busy preparing for FLIBS this week.
Yeah, well, crazy busy. Yeah, it's been from now till Thanksgiving's a little tough. We
Yeah.
last week we just finished our strategic planning meeting. Had their team from Spain over here, so we did that. We got FLIBS, we've got Mets trade show. We just finished the IBEX trade show, so it's boom, 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 boom. Every week, every 10 days, it's something. So busy time of year for us,
Wow.
that's for sure.
Okay. Well, busy in a good way, I'm sure.
Yeah, hopefully so. It's Yeah, the business climate in the U.S. right now is a little bit off. It's been unique for this time of year. For us in the yachting industry, mid-September usually is the start of refit season, and for whatever reason, everyone is they've got their boats out on the hard, but they're reluctant to do a lot of works right now. So it's been, I think, just all the turmoil with interest rates, tariffs, things like that is kind of having people a little bit uneasy right now. So it's been a bit of a challenge this year, but we'll get through it. We've been through them before. And As you mentioned, we got the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show coming up, and talking to large brokerage firms and a couple other people in the industry. They're getting a lot of interest before the show, more so than normal. Um, Typically in our business, when the stock market is good, we're good. Even though the stock market's been good, I think the other turmoil in the world is kind of set people off a little bit here in the States in particular. Um, Oddly enough, our business in Europe is going crazy right now. It's been
Oh,
phenomenal.
that's amazing.
Yeah. So, anyways, teak decking. Yeah, I've been here. I was here for actually 3 years, and I left for two, and I came back. I came back in 2019. Um, when the prior president retired, I applied for his role, and was brought back. My prior position was director of operations. Anyways, glad to be back. It's been an interesting time. Um, we in the very actually came back in August of 2019, and by December 2019, I had a company reach out to me from Europe, from Spain, wanting to potentially sell, and we were looking for a footprint over in Europe. So we went and looked at that in December of 2019. By March of 2020, we had a letter of intent, and of course, April of 2020, we had COVID hit. All that
Mm,
fun stuff. Yeah, good
yeah.
timing.
Good
But
times.
yeah, good times. But we pushed through, and we wanted to close on the deal by July, the end of July of 2020, because Spain shuts down for August. They all go on vacation holiday for the month of August. But with COVID, it slowed everything down. So that closing didn't happen until November 10th of 2020. But it's been good. We bought this where we bought the assets of a small company over there, had 10 employees. Um, More good luck than good management. We had two large contracts that we had signed over in Netherlands, and as luck would have it, the legality of us being able to send teak and teak products from the U.S. to Europe changed, and we were not able to do that. So these two projects that we were to do in Europe, we were going to originally build here and send over. During that whole transition of us purchasing and COVID, the EU shut down importation of anything teak coming into Europe. Teak already had to be over there. So we had this little business that we were buying the assets of. We had these two huge over 100-meter projects to get going. So we infused them into this new business. And of course, we couldn't even travel over there. So we had to do everything through Teams meetings. We had to get them up and running through Teams meetings, do
Oof.
the engineering over here, and send all the files over there. We built our team from 10 to 30 inside of like a couple of months. got them trained up through Teams meetings on how to build teak decks, our style. And
Gosh.
ironically enough, we missed no deadlines, hit everything. The projects came out phenomenal. So it was it was an interesting start to a new business over there. So, but
Yeah. Yeah,
anyway,
that's amazing. It sounds like you guys are very, very adaptable to overcome these kind of challenges. So that couldn't have been easy.
what's that saying? Adapt or die. You know, so sometimes you just have to go with it and figure it out. And
Exactly.
yeah, and once we were able to start to travel, of course, it took a lot of paperwork and getting approvals from the Spanish government, and we started making trips over there. Um, but yeah, it was a lot of try. The first couple of years, I was over in Spain over half of my life every year for the first 3 years. It was a lot of back and forth just to get the team built, and we had purchased a bunch of. Same time while that was happening, one of our old time wood traders had gotten bought out, so they had a large amount of teak, and we were able to buy that teak and bring it from Germany into Spain. And so we had a nice inventory of wood, beautiful teak, that wouldn't have normally happened. And we were able to buy it at a very good price since they had to get it transitioned out of Germany by the end of 2020. So all that happened at the same time we were buying this new business. It was just a crazy time. Of course, 2020 was COVID. 2021 was the coup in Burma. I don't know if you know much about that, but for
I don't.
hundreds of years, the yachting business and the boating business have always gotten their teeth from Myanmar, Burma, and in Myanmar, um, years ago was run by the military, and there was just a lot of things that weren't ethnic cleansing and things like that. There's a lot of corruption. So the European government and the U.S. government put sanctions on Burma, Myanmar, and forced them into getting a democratically elected government, which they did. And they ran that for, I don't know, a good 8 years. Well, in 2021, the military overthrew that government, so that threw everything into a tailspin of getting good quality teak. So that happened in 2021. So that forced all of us to go find teak in other sources throughout the world.
That was my follow-up question. Where does the US get their teak versus Europe? You mentioned Germany to go to Spain. So where else do you get that resource and material?
Well, we all go to the same honeypot, So one of the things that TeakDecking being around for 43 years now, we knew at some point in time the end of the runway would come with Burma or Myanmar. He just didn't know when. And so we've always looked at plantations around the world, and plantation teak, and there's a couple other things that we're brewing. In the meantime, we also got into composite decks. But anyway, so we knew where the plantations were, and when the coup happened, um, we have to go to India. They have some plantations. Indonesia, um, Brazil, um, Tanzania. I mean, there's all these kind of crazy places, but it's kind of settled out a little bit. But we were buying, plantation teak from a lot of different areas. Panama has a little bit. Costa Rica has some, but it's different. It's really taken the our industry and put it into a tailspin because teak before, we would go order it and 3 to 6 months later it would show up. And if we're doing a 100-meter boat, it's going to take us a year and a half to get the teak that we need to build the decks. So the timing is a lot different now. The planning is a lot different now. So yeah, it's been challenging.
Yeah, to say the
Yeah,
least. But
yeah.
you guys are still going strong. Yeah, I've seen that you have a sea soul coming out from
Cecil.
from the
Mhm.
website. Yeah, what is that about?
So Cecil is a product that we developed out of necessity. We've been in the composite decking world for about 12 years, and we started using a product out of the Netherlands called S-Tech. It's a prefabricated sheet, and we got into the composite deck world with production boats. Chris Craft being one of our partners, Scout Boats, a couple of the domestic production builders, and we were offering composite decks to them. We also, being in the yacht business and super yacht business, we developed our own TDS composite deck, which the S-Tech. Let me back up. The S-Tech is a 6 millimeter thick product, so it's fairly thin, but it works great on production boats. And so we got in. We walked in the market using S-Tech. We started, venturing into the yacht side, and so we had to make sheets of this product that were thick, like an old teak deck. So the hardware and the scuppers and all that stuff would work out the same. As you remove a teak deck, you put a composite deck down, all your hatch hardware and everything has to work. And so we had to have thicker decks. So we developed our TDS composite deck. In the meantime, chugging along during COVID, um, production boat builders got really busy because everyone wanted a boat. Everyone wanted to get outside. They didn't want to be inside bowling or anything like that during COVID. So
Yeah.
boating became a thing, and production boat builders were just on fire. And so they were trying to speed up their production rates. Well, installing our composite decks took some time. It would be a day, day and a half out of that build cycle where we're installing our decks. So we lost a couple small boat lines at a couple of the larger builders in the U.S. And so we wanted to develop another composite product that installed quickly. So there's three different types of composite decking. There's EVA foam, that's like the peel and stick that you see on jet skis and things like that. Very popular. Then there's the PVC product, which is there's a company called Flexi Teak or New Teak. They make a PVC product, and then there's our urethane, which is the high end, more expensive. So we wanted to get something that installed like the C deck, the EVA foam, but had the quality of our urethane. Because our urethane is high quality, it's very durable, and it's repairable. Our EVA foam's not that. So we went to work. It took us about 2 years, but we developed a process where we could get our urethane to bond to a neoprene foam and then have the peel and stick. So that is Seasol. We did a soft launch last year with one of our builder partners and ran it in one of their boats in the production line for a year and just proved it out. And this year we introduced it at IBEX, which is a trade show up in Tampa, and it was very well received. And so we're off and running with Seasol. Yeah.
Nice. All right. So, what is the best seller, a product that you guys offer? Would it be the teak wood?
But do both.
Go
Teak
ahead.
is still
Yeah.
Teak is still the number one seller for us. Um,
Okay.
our composites is maybe one sixth of our sale is composite decks right now, but it's growing every year. It's growing. We're watching that grow anywhere from 10 to 20% a year. I think with the introduction of CISO, we'll see a big jump in that this year,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
because
Nice.
of the market that it hits. It's easier to install, less expensive, so it has a broader market appeal.
Very cool. And is Teak
Yeah,
Decking Systems the only provider of this material? So, is it patented just for coming from you guys, the Sea
yeah, we
Soul?
did patent the process, the CISO. Yeah, we patented the process.
Hmm.
Um,
Wonderful.
and yeah, in the U.S., there's a lot of. If you go to a boat show, there's a lot of noise in the composite deck world, mostly in the EVA foam and the PVC decking. In the urethane side, not
Hmm.
so much. We're one of a few, So, but again, with the durability and the repairability of our product versus the other two, it makes it more attractive. We just had to get down to a price point and an installation process that worked for production boat lines. So CSOL is kind of that
Right.
answer. It answers a lot of those questions that have been hard for boat builders to swallow in the past.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's exciting. And there
yeah,
you go with adaptability. Yeah, that you guys are
yeah.
very good at. That's amazing. And
But
earlier you mentioned like the shifts in consumer behavior this year with the tariffs and such. Do you see that resolving itself next year?
well, I'm hoping. So we got the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show coming up this week, and
Mhm.
I cautiously optimistic. I think by the beginning of the year we'll see a shift. Um, in our business, we do have some seasonality to our business, and we have refit season. We have one that starts in September when school starts and people stop using their boats. Boats go up on the hard to get repairs and refit. And that lasts until December. Boats go back in the water mid-December. People use them through the holidays, do a lot of Caribbean or Bahamas, things like that. Here in the States. Um, New England boats come out of the water, of course, because it's winter. So their refit season is, from that September, October through till spring. Here in the Southeast, we'll get a second little bit of refit season, mid January to March, April. So we're hoping that mid January, March, April refit season will open up again. We're seeing a lot of transactions in the brokerage side. So when yachts and super yachts get sold, it typically means more work in the decking side, repaint side, things like that. A new owner will want to repaint it, or an old owner want to repaint it before he sells it. When they repaint it, they want to redo the decks at the same time. They kind of go hand in hand. So anytime there's transactions like that, either before or after the sale, typically brings more work for us. So we're seeing those transactions happen more again, and so we're hopeful that first of the year that will start to change. Um, yeah, the other side of our business, the production boat side. Um, I don't know that 2026 is going to be anything great. That whole production boat side is off about 30% right now from where it kind of traditionally sits, and
Hmm.
where we don't see that really coming back. Interest rates are going to have to come down considerably before production boats are selling again at any rate. So we're hopeful that sometime through 2026, end of 2026, that starts coming back. We'll see.
Yeah, for sure. So you guys work with, brokerages, of course, and you work directly with owners as well. So you do a bit of
Yeah,
like B2B, B2C. Okay.
yeah. Our
Nice.
is big as it gets. We do, of course, the B2B with production builders, B2B with yacht
Hmm.
builders, B2C, on the refit side, and we're working either with the owners, the captains, the owners' reps, the project managers at yards, whoever. It just depends on where that contract resides. Yeah.
Gotcha. And, with AI, it's here, and emerging technologies. Do you guys use anything to help your day-to-day operations like that? It could be, with quality lead gen or help the sales cycle, anything like that. Do you guys use it?
We do. We do. It's interesting. We had our strategic planning meeting this last week. AI was certainly a topic of discussion. Um,
Hmm.
it's one of those things where independently we're all using it at some level. But from
Yeah.
a company side, we're using it in the sales side, in our installation side, um, quite a bit. On the sales side is where we're seeing the biggest opportunity right now for AI for us. And then we're looking at AI for tool pathing for our CNCs. So yeah, there's definitely some opportunities there, and we've got we've got the right demographic in here of these young aggressive people
Hmm.
that are very curious with it, which is great. And I'm very proud of them because they're taking that initiative on their own to see how they can use it to enhance their jobs within our company. So yeah, we're seeing a benefit there for sure.
Yeah, that's fantastic. For sure. Yeah, that's exciting. I could talk about that all day, but And it's not that it's hard to pick up. It's just information overload, I find. And I'm in this industry, and it just helps to have, a certain like guidance system in place, because it's sort of decision paralysis. There's so much out there. It's like, where do you begin? What could help me the most? So, yeah, it's awesome that you have a team that are on it for sure.
Yeah, it's we
All
try
right.
to use up and down the food chain, and I'm not that young guy anymore, but I'm certainly intrigued by AI, and I use it. I've always been pretty
Yeah.
self-sufficient. I don't have an assistant or anything like that. I do all my own board meeting prep and everything else, and so it's helped me a lot, from a time perspective. And as you know, it starts
Exactly.
building, it starts to know you, and it becomes better and easier. And the better you feed it, the better it grows. So, yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah. Yeah, just the menial things that would take an hour or two to do, you just like it could take care of it in a minute. that's what I'm I,
Amazing.
that's what I'm loving so much about it. Yeah, like you said, it frees up the time where you can spend your resources concentrating on the things that matter. So, and as far as for you, any up and coming adventures in store? I'm asking because you mentioned you spent a ton of time in Spain, and I happen to love Spain.
Yeah.
So I'm like, selfishly saying, what are you doing? What are you up to? Do you go back to Spain often to visit those offices?
Well, fortunately, we've built a really good team over there, and they're functioning phenomenal. They're operating very well. They're very cohesive. So they're off and running on their own, and so I'm now going over maybe 3 times a year, which isn't too bad. Um, I just got back. I was over there for the Monaco Yacht Show, and when I go over there, I'll make a point to go to our office in Barcelona, our factory in Valencia. Um, we also have an office in Villanova at a shipyard, which is just south of Barcelona, and I'll be going back here in a couple of weeks in the middle of November, and we've got a new. We also have products. We distribute products, teak decking and composite decking maintenance products. We sell that stuff globally, um, to boats, to our competitors, to everybody. They use our caulking and our glue and our cleaners and everything. And we got a new VP of product sales, so I'm going to take him over, introduce him to our Barcelona office, hit our Villanova office, and then Valencia, and then we'll go to Amsterdam for the Mets trade show. So that's up and coming. Of course, it's November in Amsterdam. Weather is, for a Florida guy,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But
Hey, but they should have like their Christmas villages up there and stuff like that. So it could be
well,
kind of festive.
oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Rembrandt Square in Amsterdam this time of year is always in November is beautiful. Yep, for sure.
I'm
Yeah,
jealous. I love Europe so much. So
yeah, yeah. It's
yeah,
cool.
I'm glad that, you get a lot of work done and hopefully have some fun in there.
Trying to interject a little bit of fun in these trips. Typically, it's
Yeah, you
always been
got
work,
to.
work, work. Yeah, I'm trying to learn.
Well, Rich, yeah, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I've learned, so much in this short amount of time about, what you guys do and the importance of your entire industry and how it goes hand in hand with, the rest of the maritime world. Interesting stuff. And I'll be at Flibs too, this coming week. So yeah, I'll drop by and say hi to you guys. Booth 702, right?
It is booth 702 in the super yacht tent.
All
Good
right.
job.
I've
Yeah,
got you down. So yeah, and everyone should drop by. You guys are, the goats of the teak decking world. And congratulations on everything that you guys overcome and moving forward. You got some
thank
exciting
you very much.
stuff in the pipeline.
Keep on keeping
Yep.
on.
Well,
Thank you so much.
yeah, that's right.
All right.
All
I'll see
right.
you in
I'll
Flip.
see you this week. All right. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.